Welcome back to Empowering You, a strengths-based podcast for leaders of leaders. I'm your host, Dr. Shauna T. Sobers, and today we're talking about a trauma response that's not often mentioned. No, it's not fight. It's not flight. It's not freeze, but fawn. Before we dive in, let's pause right here and kind of talk about what is a trauma response. So trauma response is the body's automatic way of protecting ourselves when it senses danger, whether that's real or perceived. It's not something we consciously choose. It's instinctive. It's rooted in our nervous system. Most of us are familiar with the 3 survival modes: the fight, which we're confronting the threat head on; the flight, where we're escaping, avoiding the threat; or freeze, we're shutting down and feeling stuck or paralyzed. But there's also a 4th, the fawn, which is when we're people-pleasing, over-accommodating, or appeasing. And we're appeasing others in an attempt to stay safe. While it may have served us in certain environments, it can quietly erode trust and authenticity and leadership if it happens in the workplace when there is no danger, right? I know this response all too well. I once had a supervisor who was extremely critical. I found myself in that setting constantly agreeing with everything they said, anticipating their needs, even hiding my own opinions just to avoid conflict. At the time, I thought I was being professional. I thought I was being helpful. But now looking back, I realized I was responding automatically to a trigger. My nervous system was signaling danger, danger, and I was responding by over-accommodating to stay safe. If that situation happened today, I would approach it differently by using the resilience tree model. So remember the 4 components. So roots, I would ground myself with things that bring me joy and calm. Maybe I'd grab my eucalyptus spearmint lotion from Bath & Body Works and rub it in and breathe deeply. So good. Now, with that breathing deep, I'm going to use a box breathing technique that the Navy SEALs use. I'm going to inhale for 4 breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to hold it for 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to exhale for 4. 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going to hold it again for 4. 2, 3, 4. I'm going to do that 4 times and repeat. And though it takes a matter of minutes, seconds maybe even, it works wonders for calming that nervous system down and making sure that I can operate again in full function. Other things I could do is get a rock or a stress ball to pull myself out of my head and back into my body. These little rituals remind me that I'm safe, that I'm steady, and now I can engage. The second part of the resilience tree is branches. Now, Simon Sinek, in a video interview, pointed out that the research shows that it takes 8 minutes of genuine, positive conversation to disrupt negative self-talk and reset our brain towards trust and possibility. So my group of empowered women leaders, we've built a system to handle this. So when any of us experience a trigger, whether it's trauma response, freeze, flight, or just heavy negative self-talk, we send a message in our group text that is the question: do you have 8 minutes? That "do you have 8 minutes" is the signal to any of us that we can reach out and provide help to one another. The third is fruit. Rather than automatically or agreeing or shrinking back, if this were to happen again today, I'd use language that shows that I'm a team player while still offering my perspective. Something like, I can certainly do it that way. And before I do, I'd like to share another idea that might also help us. This communicates alignment and collaboration while also making space for my contribution and showing that I can be a team player and contribute more if given the space to do so. The fourth is environment. And in this setting, if the culture consistently punishes authenticity, then I'd pay attention to whether it's a place I can truly thrive or whether it's time to advocate for change or move into a healthy environment. Like I say, you can uproot and replant somewhere else where you're going to be more valued. So looking back, I see that the resilience tree gives me now the tools that I didn't have then. It helps me notice when I'm responding to a trigger and helps me choose a healthier response that builds trust in myself and my leadership. Speaking of leadership, that Gallup research on the needs of followers, it talks about 4 needs that all followers have of their leaders. The first being trust, then compassion, then stability, and finally, hope. Because we all want to feel like there's something to look forward to, right? But ultimately, trust is that foundation. And without it, the other 3 don't stick. And here's where this trauma response gets a little tricky. When leaders or followers consistently appease rather than show up authentically, then it's going to be harder for trust to stick. People may see you as agreeable, but not reliable. They may see you as kind, but not courageous. To truly lead, we need to balance that compassion with authenticity, collaboration with courage. That's how trust is built, by showing up honestly, even when it feels risky. That vulnerability will pay off. So here's some questions for you to reflect on based on each of the components of the resilience tree. Roots. What practices have you grounded yourself with when you notice a trigger or trauma response? Like for me, it was the lotion or the stress ball. Branches. Who encourages you to show up authentically? And how can you lean on them more? Because for me, it was my women's empowerment group. Fruit. Where can you practice language that honors collaboration while still sharing your perspective? That both and thinking. And environment. How can you create spaces, whether in your team or workplace, where people don't feel that they have to over accommodate to stay safe? We don't want people walking on eggshells around you. So take one of these prompts into your week. Notice your body's reactions. Notice what feels empowering and also what feels uncomfortable. Tiny steps build resilience and trust over time. Thank you for spending time with me today, exploring this trauma response and how the resilience tree can help us move through it. And if you want to dive deeper into the resilience tree book, or the model rather, my book has it, and it's called Resilience Tree, a model for women leaders of color and those who support them. I want to make sure I get the name of the book right? It's available on Amazon as well as on my website, ShaunaTSobers.com/books. Thank you for tuning in to Empowering You, a strengths-based podcast for leaders of leaders with me, Dr. Shauna T. Sobers. I hope this episode inspired and equipped you to step boldly into your leadership journey. Together, let's build a community of empowered leaders lifting each other up. Until next time, remember to lead with your strengths, live with purpose, and always empower you. And if you found value in today's topic, don't keep it to yourself. Like, subscribe, and share this podcast with others who could benefit from the insights and encouragement shared. I'm your host, Dr. Shauna T. Sobers, and I'll see you next time on Empowering You, a strengths-based podcast for leaders of leaders. Mahalo.